What's going on, gang? Welcome to B Wayne Presents, sponsored by Promarketize. Don't just advertise, Promarketize. I'm your host, B Wayne. I have with me tonight Tatiana. What's going on, Tatiana?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time with me. Now, do you go by Tati, TT? What you go by?
So I spent a lot of time in school with Kim, Kelly, and Jamie. I like Tatiana.
I like Tatiana too. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Let's get started. We know your name, but in your own words, go ahead and present yourself if you would, your name, age, and where you're located.
So my name is Tatiana. I am 47 years old, and I am located in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
What's Jacksonville near, Tatiana?
Nothing.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No, it is.
You
So
near the
I am
water?
an
Are you near the water?
hour. I'm sorry.
You got water? Are you near the water at all? You near the
Yeah, I
beach?
was going to say I'm an hour north of Wilmington, North Carolina. I am 2 hours east of Raleigh, North Carolina. I am 4 hours northwest of Charlotte. But I'm in Eastern North Carolina, so I'm close to the Eastern Shore.
You spend a lot of time in the at the water, in the beach?
I do spend a lot of time at the beach. Yes.
I love the beach. There's just nothing like it.
Nope.
And it used to be people say, "Oh, the beach is my happy place." And you'd be like, "Yeah, whatever." But when you're actually sitting out on the beach and you're
Hmm.
looking out into the water and you're just listening to the waves and
Yeah.
you got the sand and it's just there's nothing like it. It's a magical place.
It is. It is. The view of just never ending water. Um, it's just, it doesn't matter. I'll go to the beach in the heat, I'll go to the beach in the cold. Like I don't need to set up shop and like sit out there for hours, but I'll just go out there and just walk, just be, sometimes I'll take my dog. It's just me and God's creation. That's it.
Do you actually get in the water? Do you swim? Can you swim?
Yeah, I can swim.
Okay. Okay.
I don't swim very often in the beach just because I'd rather be like I really enjoy it's a sensory thing also.
Yeah.
So like I enjoy the feel of the sand on the bottom of my feet. I don't really enjoy like walking in the dry sand, but like walking in that wet sand right on the shore. I take my chair and sit my chair right where the water comes up onto the sand, and yeah, that is my happy place altogether.
You know that there's a study that actually said that walking barefoot is like there's something about it. It's like
Hmm.
it's therapeutic walking outside barefoot. You've heard that?
Hmm.
Okay.
So it's a sensory thing. So like touch obviously is one of our senses, and just being able to, even though when we think about touch, we think about it more so like touching with our hands, but actually being able to feel with your feet is still, that's still touch.
Right.
Hmm.
Can you tell us, sis, what you do or what industry you're in?
I work in mental health, so.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. So that's interesting, especially considering some of the women I've dated. Um, how long have you been in mental health?
A little over a decade now.
Okay. Very cool. What is the greatest aspect of the most rewarding aspect of what you do?
Um, Watching the light bulbs go off because most of my clientele is under the age of 25. So really kind of watching the light bulb go off when I'm working with young people, and I share with them one of my favorite things about being an adult is my ability to choose. So, when we were kids, you had to go to that auntie's house. A house smelled funny, and she got all that plastic all over the furniture, and it's uncomfortable, mad hot. She ain't never got the air on.
Don't
Like
want
there's
to cut the don't want to cut the air off for nothing.
no, nobody wants to be there. And, 10 minutes into the visit, you ready to go home. Well, now that I'm a grown up and I have my own car, 10 minutes into the visit, Auntie, I love you. Gotta go. So, really just helping young people just kind of understand how to take care of themselves, not just physically, but because I work um I work very closely with the Marine Corps. Jacksonville is actually the home of the largest Marine Corps installation on the East Coast. So hence why most of my clientele the Marine Corps is the youngest of all the branches of service. So you're going to see the most young adults in the Marine Corps of all the branches of military. So really just kind of helping them navigate this whole life thing. And then I also work with families and children, just parent coaching because kids don't come with rule books and just, you know, that's some of the things that I enjoy doing for my work.
Is that Lejeune that's out there,
Hmm.
or
It
okay,
is.
okay. Okay, so what is the most challenging aspect of your profession?
Mm, really, probably medical billing. Probably medical billing. Yeah.
So you enjoy working with the people, but the kind of the logistics of some of it is kind of like, you'd rather have
And
somebody else do that if you could.
absolutely. And believe it or not, your insurance does not cover couples counseling. Insurance does not cover family therapy. Um, I actually make more money seeing an individual than I do seeing a individual with their family. So there is an opportunity. So like insurance doesn't cover couples counseling, but if client A was the one who made the phone call to get couples counseling, then client A becomes my identified client. Um, I earn more by just seeing client A versus seeing client A and their spouse.
Gotcha. That kind of sucks because it's
It
more work,
does.
more time, it's more effort.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And for that reason, a lot of therapists don't like to do family therapy,
Yeah.
and it's needed. It's greatly needed. I mean, it's a niche all in itself, but many clinicians don't like to do family therapy.
So something is that important, the structure of the family, that
Hmm.
dynamic, and the system is set up to make it not as beneficial, for
Correct.
lack of a better term, for you all to
Hmm.
practice it. I wonder why that is. But don't get me
I don't
started
know.
on
I don't know.
don't get me started on that.
I mean, I have some
I
theories,
have
but
a
I don't know.
conspiracy. I got some theories as well. Um, Tatiana, how long have you been single?
I have been single probably about 3 or 4 years now.
Okay. So it's safe to assume, with your profession and your background, you've done the work. Not to say that you've been scarred by your previous relationship, because not every relationship is a horrible relationship. But
Mhm.
you've taken the time, you got healthy, you got well, you got whole. And when did you know, and how did you know that you were ready to start dating again?
Um, when I realized that I don't need to spend my time with somebody, but I want to spend my time with somebody. And I mean, it's also kind of sitting back and recognizing that I have a life that I love. I've developed and created a life that I love, but I want to have somebody to share it with. So when I came to the realization and really came to wrap my head around the fact that uh, I just I would like to have someone to share my life with. So when I came to that realization, that's when I recognized like, yeah. But dating dating in 2025. I mean,
Ooh,
so
buddy.
I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but like
Nah,
dating has
jump in.
become dating has become so microwaved that people like over familiarize themselves with you so quickly. It's like, oh well, we exchange 5 texts. We go together now. Whoa. Whoa, brother, back up. Or, it's like, well, what are you looking for? And it's like, well, I'm looking to share my life with someone. And, of course, you have to be extremely cautious because there's either the guys that move at kind of like almost a no pace where it really appears as though, he's not interested. Or there's the guy that just like immediately love bombs, and that's scary too. And I'm just like, can we just have some normal people? Like we don't have to slow cook the relationship, but we damn sure don't have to microwave it. So
Right. Can't go at breakneck speed, something that's so vital, something so important. So that brings us
absolutely.
that brings us to the what have you found to be some of the more challenging aspects of dating? And so that's one of them, that
Hmm.
guys finding a guy who wants to either set and or maintain the right tempo and pace for the
Mhm.
challenges that you come across?
Um, One of the challenges that I have found is, you know, the folks that are married pretending to be single, like that is a whole group of people that is just like, bruh, there are lots of women out there that will sleep with your wife, knowing that you're married. I'm just not one of them. I don't date people's husbands. So, guys and, married men tend to have a problem with that. Like the fact that I don't want to date married women's husbands.
Guys, we gotta respect ladies' choices. There, we would do so much better. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but a guy told me this a long time ago, and it I agree. There are a lot of women, fellas. There are a lot of women who will sleep with you, knowing that you're a married man, and that's
Yeah.
not to you know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to
Hmm.
women, but there are women out here who will sleep with you knowing that you're married. There is no reason to lie to a woman. If you keep it real, then she'll help you lie to your wife. Now, listen, I'm a Christian man. I am not condoning infidelity. That is not what this is about. You need to stop being unfaithful to your significant other. Go ahead and get a divorce. Don't be a coward. Get a divorce. If you're that unhappy, get some help. Figure out what you need to do to make it work. But there's a better way to do anything, even something stupid. And, if you're going to rob a
Hmm.
bank, you should probably have gloves and a mask. If you feel like if you're that much of a whatever, a person who is, wants to practice infidelity, be honest. Let that young lady know what it is, and she might be, she may want to play that game with you. Um, what have you found to be now? That's some of the more challenging aspects. Now,
Hmm.
what have you found to be what surprised you the most when you got back into the dating sphere about men, dating, relationships? What surprised you the most?
What surprises me the most is the harm that we've done to each other as people, and the fact that, how, people who are still hurting are just out here just willing to continue just hurting others, and just like, it's 2025. Therapy is actually cool. Like, do the work. Do the work. Stop. There's no need to hurt other people, and, be honestly, back to one of my favorite things about being an adult, my ability to choose. So if a man is honest with a woman, then he gives her that opportunity to choose if she wants to go down that path with him or not. And especially on my dating profile, it said, like, if you are married, no thank you. If you are, because one of my favorites is we're separated. Okay, well, where does your wife live? Well, we still, due to financial situations, we still living in the same house. She do her thing, I do my thing. And at this point, I'm really just playing games, because I have no, because like once I know you have a wife, I'm not interested. So I was like, oh, okay. She do her thing, you do your thing. Okay. So can I come to dinner? And he's like, what? Can you doing your thing? She doing her thing. You live upstairs. She live downstairs. I don't know how you get out the house. I guess you climb out the window. I don't know. But if y'all doing your thing, then I should be able to come over for dinner.
What's the
So
problem?
that was, yeah, of course, that was a big problem. So,
Of course, of
yeah.
course.
But
So
that's one, the things that surprise me is just like people also just not having a willingness to be honest with themselves. If you're not ready to date, and this is a conversation that I have with some of my clientele as well, because the clients that I work with, are primarily male. So I work a lot with the Marine Corps, so therefore a lot of my clients are going to be male. And I'm like, if you're in the mode for social dating, be honest. Not only be honest with your potential partner, but be honest with yourself. Like, don't get out here and try to date somebody who expresses that they're interested in being in a committed relationship, and you still trying to play the streets. And it's, I don't know, I'm just like, where did we go wrong? Or, I Another favorite is the pen pals. Like you gonna text me to death. Like I understand that, in today's day and age, it's easier to text than it is to talk on the phone. But, you know, back in the day, if you went to a club or you walked up to a lady, you put your best foot forward, and now you send me a text, GM, WID. I'm grown. If you can't even put forth the effort to text words, then why would you put forth the effort to do, why would I think you would put forth the effort to do anything else? Because you're not even willing to, use vowels and like full words.
I
So,
think people don't want to really get invested, so
mm-mm,
they kind of hedge their bets. We date multiple individuals, which is cool. I'm an advocate of men and women. As long as you're being honest, date multiple people. I'm not
mm-hmm,
saying have sex with multiple people. I'm not saying, build relationships or establish relationships unless that's your thing. But getting to know individuals simultaneously, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But at some point, you have to navigate from dating to courtship. And that, I think
mm-hmm,
that is the biggest, or at least one of the biggest issues that we have is the whole dating culture taking the place of courtship.
right, right.
Do you want to get
Another,
married one day?
honestly, I'm not certain. I'm not certain. I'm divorced,
That's
so I have been married already.
okay.
Um, and I'm not certain because, all the things that many men say about like, how a marriage might end and, she goes her way and takes half of his earnings. Well, I'm in a similar situation. So I don't know that I want to share if we not, equally yoked. So I don't know.
I always get a prenup. How you feel about prenups?
I don't have a problem with the prenup. I've worked hard to make it to where I am in life, and I would hope that this man is well. I'm not even gonna hope. This man would have worked hard to make it to where he is as well. So I don't have a problem with that.
Speaking of this man working hard, who is your ideal hard worker? Who's your ideal guy?
Someone who's sure of himself, and regardless of what my day or my schedule looks like, it's not a competition. Someone who is definitely able to manage himself but also manage his own emotions, like has some balance in himself, isn't all the way to the right all the time or isn't all the way to the left all the time. Somebody who still, although I'm 47, I know I don't look 47, um but I still like to have fun, and I work with kids. So I mean, I work with young adults, but I also do work with children. But I work with kids, and that really does keep you young at heart. I mean, I still like to go outside and play. So I'd like somebody who is wanting to be adventurous and likes to travel. Um, I'm not ready to be the girlfriend that we sit on the couch every Saturday and Sunday and Monday after dinner, after work, and Tuesday after work. I mean, you know, it's, there's a balance to it, but I have a pretty social life. I'm looking for somebody who is even he doesn't have to have the same interests as me. That's okay. Opposites attract. And if he doesn't want to attend the social events, that's quite all right. But I need someone who's secure enough with himself that even if I'm attending by myself, he understands that that means that that doesn't mean I'm out running these streets. It's just that I have I participate in different organizations in the community, and I am very active in the community. So having somebody that's also active in the community, and that definitely would work as well.
Should a man who has young children or is interested in having children reach out to you?
No, my children are grown.
No starting over.
Oh no, that baby start crying. We're gonna be sitting in the corner crying together.
Amen. Amen. I dig it. Okay, so he needs to have older kids or grown kids or no
Hmm.
kids.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
And
Do you,
I don't have any judgment for a man
right,
that
right.
has children.
Preference.
Um, And it really isn't necessarily it isn't a necessary preference. However, as long if he can understand that because I don't have children, I might not be available to sit home with you and the babies this weekend because I'm doing something else or I'm volunteering. So if he can understand that I'm gonna need that balance as well, then I can do that.
What do you think, speaking just for a moment on not just for Tatiana, but on behalf of Black women or women in general, what do you feel like we're not hearing as men that you would like for us to hear, or that women are telling you that we don't hear?
I want I want to live a soft life. I'm tired of being strong and hard and having to do the things. And living a soft life doesn't mean that that man has to go to work and I sit home and take care of the kids all day. Living a soft life means that I feel protected and I feel safe when I'm around him. Living a soft life means that he wants to take care of me. And again, I can't stress enough that like taking care of me isn't limited to his ability to pay a bill. It is, does he make me feel soft and pink? Am I able to feel, am I able to operate in my true femininity and in my feminine energy with him? And is he able to handle that and manage that? Or is he going to tell me to suck it up and get over it and toughen up? And because that's not the guy for me. So, I mean, I am a girl. So, I mean, I'm a grown woman, but I am a female. I am all feminine and I am not, you know, I'm looking for somebody who's going to take care of me and somebody who's going to be willing to be taken care of because I'm going to take care of him back. So it isn't going to be a one-way street.
What is it that you think, what is it that you don't feel women understand about men from the male perspective?
I think that some women, especially, unfortunately, especially women who were not raised with their father or not raised with a male in their life. My daddy was my hero. Like he's my favorite good guy. And I had the blessing of being raised by both of my parents, and my parents were married to each other until they both passed. And I got to watch my mother take care of my father. She made sure she took care of the house and he took care of the house. So he made sure that the bills were paid. He made sure that the mortgage was paid. He made sure, they didn't have a car, but if he did, I'm sure he would have made sure she had gas in the car because he made sure that she had money to take care of the things with the children. She took care of the home. So when he came home, there were not many things. Now, please understand that my parents were in their 80s when they passed. So these are people who were born in the 1930s. So she did all the cooking, she did all the cleaning, she took care of the kids. He didn't have to worry about, if the kids were going to be taken care of. She didn't have to worry about if we were going to have the financial resources to get the things that we needed. And collectively, they raised us. So I think that many women don't understand how important it is to show a man respect and to honor his masculine energy and to honor his masculinity. So I operate in my feminine energy. Never am I going to tell a man, don't open the door for me. What is wrong with you? I can open the door for myself. No, I'm going to step to the side and I'm going to get on out the way and let him open the door. And I'm going to allow him to cradle me. And then when he is down, I'm going to expect that he's going to allow me to cradle him back so that we take care of each other. We support each other. And there was one thing with my parents that I can honestly say. I remember being a child and like asking my dad something. My dad said no. And then asking my mom for the same thing. And my mom, when she found out, she said yes because she was a pushover for me. But even though when they found out that I had asked the other parent and I had played them against each other, we'll just say I never did that again because they were a united front. And so my mother was soft and nurturing, and my father was more hard, but my father was also raised in the 30s. So, but he was my favorite good guy. And, I learned unconditional love from my mom. So it really is a point of taking care of one another. So
Where's
for
your
the
family from?
ladies, so my mother was born and raised on a farm in South Carolina, and
Okay.
my dad was born and raised in New York City. But
Okay.
he was the most country New Yorker that you would ever come in contact with.
Okay. And I interrupted you. I apologize. You were about to say for the ladies?
For the ladies, I mean, we have got
Oh,
to honor our brothers because we have it hard and we have it rough, but y'all do too. And there is nothing like being beaten down at your job, at your work all day, and being able to come home to the softness of your woman who is there for you, who is there to support you. And although, I'm independent, but I also know how to be interdependent so that we are dependent upon one another.
why don't people understand it? I feel like one of the biggest issues that we have as a society is like you can either be for the cops or for black people getting beat by the cops. You can either be Democrat or you can be Republican. You can either be traditional or independent or interdependent. Why don't people understand there's a gray area? You have to be flexible, you have to be adaptable. What's the disconnect, do you think, between men and women, and understanding that we don't have to be one thing? You don't have to die on a hill. You can
Mhm.
compromise. You can be a little bit more understanding and relatable and flexible. Why do you think it's become so difficult when it comes to men and women and understanding that from one another?
It's it's the breakdown in our families. Because if my mother was the only person who I had ever had an opportunity to watch, because we don't learn in school, we learn at home. Children spend 28% of their time, their waking hours, 28% of their time in school. And as parents, we drop our kids off to before care or pick our kids up from aftercare or both. And because we are at work all those hours, so we take them to before care because we have to be at work early, and we have them go to aftercare because we have to be at work beyond the time that they go to school. And so I'm speaking as a parent, because we drop our kids off early morning when we go to work and pick them up in the evening when we come home, we think that our kids are in school all that time. No, they went to a program, then they went to school. Then they left school and they went to a program. So they only actually spend 28% of their time in school. That means that the rest of that time, the learning happens at home. And if my mom was disgruntled because my daddy didn't take care of us, or he didn't take care of her, or he left her, or, she had several children, and, and everybody basically did her wrong. And then she raises me as a young girl like that. What kind of scope do you think I'm going to have for men? Is that they're not going to take care of me. They're not going to do anything for me. Or as a boy raised in the same type of household where you don't experience that person, or you don't make that connection with that person who is like you, how do you learn to be a man? I have two sons. I'll be the first to tell you, I taught my sons a lot of things about life. Never could I ever teach them how to be men. I'm not a man. So,
How did you navigate that?
their father.
So they
He's
have a
gonna
good relationship with their dad.
absolutely.
Dad or
Absolutely.
dads. I don't want to, a lot of people have multiple kids
And
by
that's
multiple people.
okay.
Yeah, it ain't nothing to it. Yeah, very
That's
common
okay.
nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reality is, again, I was fortunate that my younger son, I had a baby with a man who also was raised by both of his parents. So when I moved from New York and moved to North Carolina, never did I think of weaponizing my child against his father. And whether he saw his child or not was not related to child support. The two were separate. When it was time for him to see his son was present, and he saw his son. And there were many times that he did not pay any child support, but I never stopped my son from seeing his father. But that is also because I know how important my relationship was with my father and my mother. My mother taught me how to be a woman, and my father taught me how I should be treated. So both parents are equally important. And when we don't have both parents, it doesn't say anything negative about that woman who's raising her children by herself or that man who's raising his children by himself. But there is a lot to be said also as a Christian. God didn't make a mistake when he made children have to be like when he made us as humans have to be created by two people.
That's the standard. He did it that way for a purpose, as we know, and that's okay. But that being said, God will utilize situations and circumstances to help us become more,
Mm-hmm,
to have, to create humility in us and character, to help us become closer to who He's called us to be, to help keep us close to Him.
mm-hmm,
So we can overcome, you know, certain aspects of our youth and our
yes.
past and mistakes that we've made. However, there are going to be some negative aspects of being
Mm-hmm,
raised in a single parent household, whether you're raised by without the mother, without the father. Now,
mm-hmm.
my question is to you as a woman and as a therapist, how do we? And I'm gonna get ready to get you out of here. How do we navigate that for the guys that are like, because there are men, I've heard them. I'm not dating a single mom, or I should say, I take that back. There are guys that feel that way, but guys more who are like, I'm not dating a woman who was raised without a dad in the home, right? And there are women who don't know, how do I overcome that? What do I say? What would you say to a woman who wasn't raised by her dad? She may have, what he wasn't in the household. She may have some issues of, independence or, not understanding how to relate to a man necessarily. What would you say to them?
This isn't the 1970s. The internet is a powerful thing. The same way we go online and we learn about the newest dance or the newest outfit or the newest whatever social thing, we also can learn how to improve ourselves. There are books, there are websites, there are many more um, opportunities for men to learn to be fathers, especially for men who didn't grow up with their fathers. There are, many communities, there are fathering initiatives. For women, it is, talk to your sisters, talk to not necessarily your blood sisters, but like, talk to your sisters, reach out, talk to people, don't and the internet is a powerful tool. Like, social media was like that's one of the reasons social media was created, but we use it for a whole variety of different things. So
You mean I can use the internet for more than just surfing porn?
yeah, I mean,
I can actually.
what a concept.
Last thing, and we'll get you out of here. Tatiana, and I appreciate your time. What would Tati? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
I think somebody's trying to call in or whatever. All right, but as long as you can see and hear me, if there was one thing that you would want people to know about you, whether a potential suitor or just society in general, who you are, what you're about, if you could summarize it, and there was one thing that you could let people know, what would it be?
Don't give up on the girl who has traditional values, but she's a modern woman. So just because she's modern and just because a woman or just because I can take care of myself doesn't mean that I want to. Doesn't mean just because I'm able to pay my own bills, stop reducing yourself to your ability to how much money you have or what bill you can pay or how many bills you can pay. There is so much more that comes in a relationship and that's required in a relationship. And I need so much more than just your ability to pay a bill. So don't don't overlook the modern woman that has traditional values.
I think the term modern woman has become a little bit derogatory, a little bit negative, the same way as high value men. And but it just, we can take terms that were meant as whatever they were meant or however they were meant. Just like the term woke and woke culture, right? That term being woke, it just simply means being aware
Right.
of negative situations and
Mhm.
circumstances and how to go about doing your part to fight unjust systems and mentalities. High value male is basically coming from me. Not saying that I am that or not that, but in my mind, what a high value male is a good dude. He's a protector, he's a provider, he's in touch with his emotions. He's not overly aggressive, though he's strong. He's not an emasculine, a soft, quote unquote, soft male, though he can be tender and he's in tune with his emotions. Um, a modern woman, put it in your words. What does that mean to be a modern woman in your
It's
words?
it simply means that I can pay my own bills. I can take my car to the dealership and get the oil changed. I can get the tires rotated. But just because I can do these things, just because I can pull the trash out to the curb, just because I can, you know, let the dog out. And I'm not saying that someone has to be, minimized to roles or tasks that they do in the house, but you know, just because I can do the things, I mean, I want to come home and and have that softness and and be in the arms of that tender man who understands how to handle me. Because I mean, the fact that I am independent, I'm not just gonna follow any Yahoo anywhere. And I can poke holes in a story real quick and easy. And when I poke holes in a story, then I'm irritated because I already said all the things that I don't want and you showed up with them anyway, thinking that, you was just gonna put a cloak on and fool me. Come on. So,
Make no mistake about it, ladies. I understand for a husband, for for a traditional male, for a quality male, for a high value male, being a husband is an honor. And as a husband, there is nothing that we want more than to provide for and take care of our wives. A man I consider to be my mentor, even though I've never met him. His name is Dr. Miles Monroe, and I learned so much from that man. Um, it is a man's pleasure, honor, and responsibility to provide a life where his wife does not have to work if she doesn't want to. I don't want my wife going to work, spending more time with some other dude, her boss, or them dudes, her work husband than she does me. I want her at home. Like, just is what it is. I want to know where she's at. I want to have access to her more than any other man. Like, you know, I don't want to get her when she's done working all day and I, go to bed and on the weekends. Nah, I want my wife. I want as much time with my wife as I can possibly have. And you have to be able to provide that lifestyle for her. And make no mistake about it, ladies. Please understand that a man wants that for his wife. Now, I think one of the disconnects is we women act like, oh, well, a man should take care of a woman, or my man needs to. Difference between you being my lady and being my wife.
mm-hmm.
So please understand, if you're just some chick I'm kicking it with respect to you as a woman, all women, it doesn't mean anything. You're not obligated to your man. You're not obligated to your woman. But as a husband,
Mm-hmm.
it is a man's honor and pleasure and privilege to provide for his wife. Please don't let anybody make you think otherwise. Final thoughts, Tatiana, and we'll get you out of here.
So the man that you identified, I would marry that man. So, and I would marry that man with no question. And when I say with no question, I don't mean like I'm just going to show up on the first date in my wedding dress. We're not doing that. But I wouldn't I wouldn't have the need to be overly concerned about, you know, when we go our separate ways. So, that man who and and I don't need a man to prove that he is able or capable. Just be who you are. And if that's who you are, it's going to come forward. It's going to show. So it's not about the show. Like I'm tired of the entertainment because it's
I
not
think a lot of
entertaining.
us are tired of the entertainment out here in 2025. 2025 has been entertaining enough, and we're only a few months into it. Like, are we still in the first quarter?
I was gonna say we're
We're in
not
the
even a few
first
months
quarter.
in. We are in the
I'll
second
say
month.
absolutely ridiculous. Couldn't have scripted it. Like if somebody wrote a story, a film about this year, 2 months in, everybody be like, this isn't believable. This is whatever. Thank you, Tatiana.
You're welcome. Thank you for the
Uh,
invite. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, it's been my pleasure, guys. If you want to get in contact, reach out. The information will be in the description box. You heard what she had to say. She's looking for a good, solid brother. Not looking for. She's open to a good, solid brother who is mature, responsible, respectful, and reminds her of her daddy because her daddy was that dude. So if you think you may have what it takes to fit those shoes, then reach out. She's open to it. Thank you, Tatiana. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
Take care.